What have I told you? Deathstroke is far darker than you want to think. Even Batman admits Slade is one of the few people he's genuinely wary of fighting alone. He is perhaps the coldest character in the DC universe, but there's something very creepy about him that even I as a Deathstroke fan didn't know, something that caused a lot of controversy among comic book fans as well. And I don't think Gunn's DCU is ready to know how dark this mofo gets. There's a reason a few comic book fans refer to him as D-Stroke Diddy. This is a very special video for this channel because, if you don't know, I didn't always look like this. When I first started, I took inspiration from Slade Wilson. That's right, I look like this. I wore this mask, and I really wanted to wear it for this video again to make a cameo appearance, but I think my assistant Macro, who may or may not have been a predator that I kicked out and fired, stole it and took a shit in it somewhere, so unfortunately I will not be able to retrieve it. I might just get a new one. James Gunn is making a Deathstroke and Bane film. This has me a little bit worried because the tonality of Gunn's films tends to blend in together at some points. And I say that as a Gunn fan. I defend Gunn's DCU a lot against certain fans. I truly think they could water down the character of Slade Wilson really, really badly. And to be fair, maybe watering down this character is needed just a little bit because he goes into some really fucked up and weird places, y'all. Let's start out with the basics. He's a super soldier with a broken mind. That's what he is. As a result of the serum, Deathstroke's brain capacity is enhanced, typically stated as being able to utilize 90% of his brain. This grants him genius-level intellect. His mind functions like a supercomputer, and he also has full control of his body, which allows him to do shit that just people can't. That's able to help his fighting style and help his maneuvering and stealth, all of that. The experiment that enhanced Slade didn't just boost his strength and reflexes though, it also warped his brain, arguably. And this is due to a lot of pre-existing trauma too. He views everything, even people, as assets, weapons, or tactical puzzles. His emotions are dialed down, his aggression is dialed up. This makes him calm, precise, and inhumanely cold. All of this allows him to do stuff like take on the Justice League and fight characters like this. And then it also allows him to commit some other acts that cross certain boundaries. We're gonna get to that, chat! We're gonna get to that, because some of this stuff is sus. He has a very weird family dynamic. As a result of his son getting injured due to his own enemies, his wife shot him in the head, causing his eye to be what it is. Now, there's some different, depending on what comic issue and run you're watching, the way his eye gets injured is different, and the way his relations with his wife is different, but this is like the original way it happened. So, since this, he's been inhumanely cold, alright? Murder and killing is like a puzzle to him. It's always logical. It's always, how do I get from point A to point B? How does this help me accomplish my task? The best way to describe him is he is perfectly rational in the most inhumane way, making for some of the darkest acts that he can commit just like this. Just like it's like nothing to him. And then we have the family trauma. So I already mentioned the wife shooting him. His son got his throat slit by some of his enemies, Jericho. So when Jericho got his throat slit, he became mute. Alright, he became a mute, and his wife didn't like that. So she shot Slade in the head, taking out one of his eyes. Okay? On top of that, one of his other son became Ravager, following in Deathstroke's footsteps, and fighting crime as a mercenary, and Ravager got killed on the field. Not to mention his relationship with his daughter. Basically, Rose Wilson is also a vigilante merc that Slade trained, and basically he puts her through psychological torture to turn her into the perfect weapon. Yeah, that's the kind of guy we're dealing with here, man. That's his love. That's his definition of love now. You see his entire personality evolving as his relationship with his family gets worse and worse and worse. And then we have Tara. I'm gonna call her Tara. Alright. Remember the Teen Titans who was actually a double agent, alright? So we have a comic book issue called Judas Contract. Alright, this is where stuff gets weird. This has caused a lot of controversy between fans because, let's face it, a lot of comic books, for some reason, they just feel the need to make certain characters like batshit schizo. Before I wore the Slade Wilson mask, I had no idea. I had no idea if this happened. And by the way, I didn't change masks because of this. I changed masks just because I think I need my own look as a vigilante. Copyright issues potentially could have been an issue, but still. Even with all that said, Deathstroke has a Diddy moment. So there's this chick called Tara, who is very important to the story. She basically is a very mentally unstable mercenary who hates superheroes and is a double agent working as an apprentice for Slade Wilson, alright? In the story. There are some weird relations between her and Slade. You see, Slade is manipulating this girl, which is what she is, especially compared to him. He's manipulating her through methods that are just abusive, but also like sexual. This is some Diddy shit. This is some Diddy shit. Now, she's 18. I believe in the story, although people have said she's younger. I don't know what to believe anymore. People have said, oh, it's technically not statutory R-word because she's of age, I guess. I don't know. But it's still, like, predatory the way he's manipulating her throughout this. You have stuff like this, man. Oh, shit. Am I going to get censored? Do I need to censor this for YouTube? No, I think I'm good. Basically, it's implied that they have, like, sexual intercourse a lot, okay? They've fucked many, many times. Many, many times. Yeah. You just start to see more and more, like, this is, like, predatory. This is some nunce shit, borderline. Like, he's way too old! And you know that he does it. This is just pure manipulation, too. Like, this is just bad. Like, there's just defending this puts you in really hot water. So, a lot of people had a problem with, like, this is a power imbalance, okay? With the age difference, this is, like, predatory. This is, like, child molestation type shit. PDF file. Some of the creators and writers were like, Tara herself is an irredeemable psychotic villain, and Slade, even though they're reprehensible, it's tactical manipulation rather than him being attracted to minors. So, it's not that bad. Still pretty bad, to be clear. But according to them, it's not PDF file stuff, necessarily. I'm gonna say this right now, fuck comic books. Like, we get to a point where comic books start writing similar characters over and over, and they don't know what to do with them, so they're like, okay, let's add new edgy things to their personality, which just makes them even weirder and weirder and weirder. And the comic books need to stop, man. They need to stop this shit. They've done this with lots of characters, and this just needs to stop. Stop! But that shows how much Deathstroke doesn't give a fuck. That shows how dark he is. That shows the extent he will go to get what he wants to achieve his goals. And now we have James Gunn, who's gonna adapt this character. Now, obviously, you don't need to adapt the Diddy aspects of this character to do him right. But all I'm saying is, bro, even Slade in Arrow fell in love with this and was obsessed with Shadow, who was like college age, who could have been his daughter, to be honest. So that's not nunce shit, but why? It seems to be a recurring theme. Even in Teen Titans, Deathstroke's a dude who's messing around with kids throughout that show. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But James Gunn's taking this character in. Bane and Deathstroke in a movie together. Now, even though you have this movie about two people, I feel like this is going to be more of a Deathstroke movie where he's more of the protagonist and Bane's also, like, there as a prominent figure. But I don't know. I don't want a buddy cop type film. I really don't want that, even though it's going to have a lot of James Gunn humor. I'm pretty sure Bane's Latino, so I don't want them to make him have, like, this crazy Latino personality that we've seen, like, hey, you one-eyed gringo, I'm killing your family, bitch. Like, I don't want that. I really don't want that. Please don't fucking do that. I'm not saying he has to be like Dark Knight Rises Bane, but you know they're going to give did way more of a personality than they did in Batman Robin. And you know that they're going to make him way more eccentric than Tom Hardy's Bane, so I feel like that's what we're getting. But I feel like what this will be is they're going to be hired to take each other out because they're both mercenaries, and they're going to realize, oh, fuck, the guy who hired us is the same person and just wants to take out the trash, like Amanda Waller type shit, so we're going to both team up to kill him. Even though that's predictable as hell, I feel like that's what the story might end up being. I really want James Gunn to take a note from the concept of the Ben Affleck Batman movie that was supposed to be made, where Deathstroke's trying to destroy Batman's entire life because of revenge, because I think Batman killed his son or something in the proposed story. So Deathstroke basically destroys his bank, his finances, watches him, stalks him all the time, beats the shit out of him. Like, it's like that type of shit. I want that kind of Deathstroke to be in play. So for a Bane and Deathstroke movie, this is how it should go. All right. Deathstroke is hired to kill Bane. Bane is a super terrorist who is basically trying to destroy the government of Santa Prisca. I believe the prison he was born in or was in this place. He wants to take over, overthrow and destroy the government, destabilize it, and start a civil war in Santa Prisca. And the contractor that's hired Slade doesn't want this to happen for whatever agenda he has. So he hires Slade to take out Bane. I want this to be the crux of the story. I don't want it to be, oh, they fight and they team up later, BVS style. No. Or they team up because Amanda Waller told them to get on track, even though that's probably what's going to happen. I want them to fight each other. Bro, this would be sick. A tactical genius assassin versus another genius strategist who has venom, like the venom drug. And we see Slade we see his routine. And it's very mundane, painfully mundane, but it's very tactical. He's accounted for all things. He doesn't have much of a life socially. He doesn't have a love life. He's estranged from his own children. You hint and infer at the fact that he has a really bad family life. Bane is just this dude who has motivations to take out a government because he believes it's the right thing to do. No team up at the end. I want a full-on war between these two. I want to say that Bane wins the initial fight with Deathstroke, and Deathstroke beats him in the second fight, and then Bane says, fuck my current goals. I need to take out this one dude. So I'm going to come after everything. I'm coming after Deathstroke's life savings. I'm coming after his family. I'm coming after everything. So he goes after Deathstroke's children, who are not going to be, you know, Deathstroke Juniors in this movie. But he goes after them. He goes after Deathstroke's estranged wife. Maybe he ends up killing a son of Deathstroke's, and he goes after Rose, the final child of Deathstroke, and Slade has to stop this. And Slade is someone who has been estranged from his family this entire time and is focused on the job, focused on the mission. But now, because Bane made it personal, Deathstroke's got to get personal. That's how we see his arc play out. And I want to see he has a final fight between him and Bane where he overloads Bane's serum. And Bane gets overloaded to the point where his brain he gets knocked out by it. He almost has a reverse effect where it makes him so jacked and so crazy that it goes feral and he turns skinny. He turns into a twig because it zaps all the substance from his body or some shit. He doesn't die, because obviously the DCU wants Bane for more stories later on, but maybe he's comatose or something. Deathstroke defeats him in a brutal way. And then the cycle repeats itself where now Deathstroke's wife gets killed by Bane. And Deathstroke has to care for Rose, but he says no. He goes back to his normal life. And that's the tragedy of the story. That's why he's a pure villain / anti-hero bordering on the villain side. His lack of humanity comes full circle. Because now, at the time where he has the most humanity, because he has a daughter that he has to take care of, he leaves her in the lurch, maybe. Maybe he takes her to an orphanage or something. Maybe he takes her to a training place for orphans or some shit. Something like the Red Room for kids, you know? Something like no father should ever do, but he does it anyways because he can't allow her. He's seen now what a vulnerability having family and having love like this is. It's like a weakness. So he leaves her and goes back to his life. It's a tragic, dark ending, but it would fit his character so well. And I don't like a wolf and cub story either. I'm trying to avoid a wolf and cub story and, we're fighting each other, but we're going to team up later. I'm trying to avoid the cliches here. That's what I want for a Deathstroke movie. Even though this is Deathstroke and Bane, I understand. So this is probably not what they're going to do, but still. That's how I would do it. And in terms of who to cast, bro, y'all remember this dude from Don't Breathe? This is a big fan casting, bro. Has he played Deathstroke? I feel like he has already. But in terms of a guy with the physique and age, he would be perfect. But if they want to go the European, Australian route with Slade Wilson again, I need Clive Owen to have a shot at Slade Wilson. Put a beard on this man, have him have some white hair and an eye patch, he is Slade. If you look at the way this guy speaks and look at his facial expressions through the different movies, he captures the essence of Slade so well. That's who I would cast, to be honest. So that's how you should do Deathstroke and Bane if you're going to do it. I think it should be I feel like a more Deathstroke-oriented movie that has Bane as a prominent villain figure in it would be sick. But it might be a buddy cop thing, which it'll still be entertaining, and I can't wait to see the fight scenes that they have planned for that, because the choreography is what I'm going to be looking out for. Deathstroke needs to have the baddest fight scenes ever. Baddest. Yeah. Those are my thoughts on that. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.